Hey, Ray from Bridge Marina. I'm on this newly designed 2025 SLS1 from Starcraft. This is nominally 21-foot triple pontoon, high performance that is. They've made these for a bunch of years, but they changed the layout a little bit here. This boat's recently had all these extended decks on it, which it still does. But they changed the back gate area to include sort of more space inside that's fenced off, as well as made this all a heavy-duty aluminum frame, which is really, it looks great, feels great, very sturdy. And they basically pulled a lot of your space inside the gates, which is great if you have pets or kids. You keep all this aft deck space, but you're inside and gated, which gives extra space for the kids or pets without being exposed outside here on the extended deck. But it still retains both a port and starboard aft deck, so this is great for boarding or swimming or things of that nature. And they've done a wonderful job on these heavy-duty doors on both the port side and the starboard side. And it retains a very large swim ladder, which is great. I mean, huge handles, easy to get up and down. It's a really great feature on this new SLS1. And as you come back inside, I mean, it still has all the great things about an SLS1, which is all this space inside. Has the opposing couches here at the stern, where you can easily get 4 people comfortably. They pulled the backrests off on both the stern seats, which is great. So when you're sitting here, like, you got this ability to kind of lounge out. Cup holders galore on these boats. It's like a Starcraft thing, tons of cup holders. 2 over here on the port side, 2 on the starboard side, 2 in your table. Also have USB chargers in here, which are great, as well as a USB-C charger. So they really were thinking about it on this boat. As far as like comfort, again, these SLS1s, extremely comfortable. Seats are, you know, not too plush, rather firm, definitely very thick. I mean, that seat back is a solid 7-8 inches deep. You move forward on this boat, and another feature they put in over here on the port side is a nice little area for the port side guest where they have their own little locker, chargers as well, their own cup holder, and of course these seats recline as well, which is great. When you're in these SLS1 models, you know, they really are just well appointed. The neat thing again on this model is they took the captain and co-captain chair and they put them at the same alignment. So on some models, when you're in a co-captain's chair, you're sitting usually either for or after the captain, but in this model, they lined them up perfectly. So when you have a him or her seat or whatever, her and her seat, whatever you may have, it makes you be aligned really well, which is great. Helms continue to be fully functional. Everything on it, GPS gauges, tachometer, trim meter, a nice little storage cubby here for your phone and stuff, and ample chargers under here, both a little 12-volt receptacle or, you know, cigarette lighter. Anybody remembers those? And as well as your USB and USB-C. This particular one has Bluetooth stereo from Wet Sounds, as well as a Humminbird GPS chart plotter. Tilt steering, I mean, really is a comfortable helm and well appointed for this boat. This particular model we brought in with an in-floor storage, which is an option on an SLS1, and it is just huge. You know, as you can see, this thing is solid 2.5 feet deep and tons of space. It extends back probably about 2 feet. It extends forward another 2 feet. So this thing overall is about 5-6 feet long, easy. Tons of storage in here. It's a great option. The forward couches are great as well. These are a little bit more traditional for the SLS1, where they have these port and starboard couches. They are as well equidistant, so they've actually lined up. So your crew that's on the starboard side can sit here equidistant with the port side, which is great. Tons of space, easy to stretch out. Once again, really big, thick seats, well designed. We'll get to the underside, which is another great feature. SLS1s, they come with HMX performance package, which we'll talk about in a second. Being a boat that's, you know, roughly 21 or so feet, man, this is an easy, 10 passenger boat. And of course, being a triple pontoon with the HMX package certainly can handle the buoyancy. This one's powered by a 150, so it probably runs into the mid-30s. Easily bump up to 175 or 200 and get this up into the 40s plus mile an hour. So we're underneath this SLS1. Some of the key features to look for is this lifting strake that is both on the outside as well as the inside log here. And the neat thing about these is this boat goes to the water. The third log, or the center log, gives extra buoyancy as well as lift to get it up and move faster, especially when you're pushing more horsepower. And then these lifting strakes also give it extra lift from both the outer and the inner logs to get the boat up and plane to basically have less resistance on the water and go faster. The final thing that folks will throw in, especially here with Starcraft, is this underbelly. So this full aluminum underbelly from bow to stern, The idea on this full underbelly is if water, which will happen, as water comes up from this boat going fast, it hits this underbelly and just sheds right off, and it permits this boat to run actually faster in the water. So all these features, as well as something I'll show you down at the stern with that center log, make this a high performance triple pontoon boat. So now we're at the stern on this HMX pontoon. And a couple things you want to take a look at is, once again, the lifting strakes we talked about up at the bow. You can see there's these large lifting strakes that give this thing the extra lift, gives it extra speed. And then this center log, if you notice, a little bit different design, but it's kind of straight walled on the port and starboard side. And you can see it's all very heavy gauge aluminum, which gives this thing the extra strength here at the transom to not only carry your larger fuel tank, a little bit larger load in the boat, but to be able to put on a larger outboard, which again, that'll give it more power to give it more speed. So these triple pontoon boats, there is a lot different from a standard pontoon boat or a 2 3/4 pontoon boat that you don't always get to see because it's under the water. But it definitely makes a difference. If you have more questions about this particular boat or any boat or just getting into boating in general, please feel free to reach out to us. We're glad to help you however we can, whether you need some boat education, some hands-on training, you want to buy a boat, rent a boat, or even join our boating club. Whatever it is, I look forward to getting you on the water.